Hi, you guys. Welcome to day 23 of Hot Topics Cool Drinks. This event is created exclusively for adults 50 and over, especially for those of us who are corporate executives, past or present, entrepreneurs, family stewards, educators, parts of households that have invested in private education, people who understand that values, not trends, is what guide families. Each evening we gathered here to center ourselves in clarity and conversation, and every night included a featured book that aligned with purpose, legacy, and awareness, a wellness tip for women navigating menopause, a discussion about parenting in today's digital world, and poetry from my book, She Shines Anyway, because grounding ourselves in intention is how we stay present and powerful. And tonight is special because this is next to our last night together. Tomorrow will be our final night of this series, so let's really savor tonight's conversation. Before we get started into the poem, here's what we're going to cover tonight. We're going to talk about a menopause minute, a reflection since we're near the end of this series. Tonight's featured book, The Technological Republic by Alex Karp, who Alex Karp is and why he wrote it and how it connects to executive parents like us. The Business Corner, which is applying security and technology principles to building our own private firms, corporations, and practices. And our hot topic, a recap of last month's theme of cyberbullying, including real stats about false online content, the pioneers of the internet, my book, Do Your Job, and how parents can reclaim the narrative. Of course, we're always going to talk about or read a poem from my book, She Shines Anyway, and how AI helped me bring it to life, and updates on my rebranding podcast, The Second Act Executive and Newsletter. So before I get started on the poem, let me introduce my cool drink of the night, which is by Reed's. It's a strawberry vanilla. It's sort of like a cream soda. And what caught my eye with this, I haven't tried it yet, but what caught my eye is that it's only 35 calories. I love that. But not just that, it's made with real ginger. And I wanted to share with you some of these ingredients that's in here. Because they're primarily all natural. Like for example, there's turmeric, right? There's vegetable juice, there's black currant, there's carrot, there's black pepper, there's ginger, there's chicory root, lemon and lime juices, okay? And sparkling filtered water. So let's give it a try, okay? So we're going to toast to tonight, but also we're going to toast to success. Let's have a toast. This is really good. This is really good. Of course, not too sweet. And it says something like there's also some lion's mane, mushroom extract. Wow. So yeah, it's really good. I give it, because it's a natural type of drink, I give it an 8. I give it an 8. Now don't expect this to be sweet. It's 35 calories. It's delicious. It's delicious. I give it an 8. Reed's. It's Reed's strawberry vanilla. It says soda smarter. I like it. Okay, so let's go on into this book, okay? She Shines Anyway. 76 poems for the woman that refuses to dim her light. And as you guys know, I was able to edit this book in less than an hour, right? You can find this book on Amazon or my website, bewellnesscenter.shop. This is called I Am Not Your Mirror. Okay, let's go. Don't mistake my reflection for your own confusion. I won't carry your shame, your fears, your unresolved bruises. Just because you refuse to face yourself doesn't mean I was made to hold your image. I'm not your mirror. I don't reflect your insecurities. I expose them by simply standing tall. I don't echo your chaos. I quiet it. with presence and peace. Projecting onto me won't heal you. Blaming me won't cleanse you. And tearing me down will never build you up. I am not your mirror. I'm a window, clear, whole, and facing the future. Okay? And you can find and read more of these poems in my book, She Shines Anyway, which you can find on Amazon.com or BeWellnessCenter.shop. Okay? So, let's go ahead and move forward. I want to talk about this, the menopause minute. Let's go ahead and do that. Since this is the next to last night, let's pause and recap on what we've learned in the menopause minute. So we talked about hydration and how cooling foods really do help with hot flashes, right? So hopefully some of the foods that we've talked about, like cucumbers and leafy vegetables and things of that nature, have been implemented. Things like pumpkin seeds, nuts, things like that. Okay. We talked about strength training isn't just for aesthetics. It does, in fact, preserve our bone density, which is something I, too, am working on. I've always been a cardio person, but now, since, like I shared with you, menopause can actually begin anywhere from 35 to 55 for women. And I am in that middle where I'm beginning to go through it. So definitely, guys, I have started strength training, and it's not my favorite, but it is necessary. Stress management is non-negotiable during menopause because stress hormones can amplify symptoms. No question. No question. Eliminating stress. And that was part of what had inspired me to write this book for women that are going through things that women, especially independent women, don't talk about. And menopause is one of those things, right? And just having that little reminder to let things go, right? And then, most importantly, menopause is not the end, it's a transition. Many women discover renewed clarity, strength, and purpose. And I know for me, I definitely have, it took me to a place where eating more healthy and just staying focused on being more vibrant. I don't think I've ever been more vibrant. So take a moment tonight to honor yourself, your body, and your wisdom and your resilience. Okay? So anyway, let's go ahead and move forward. Thanks, guys, for hanging in there with us, ladies, while we had our menopause minute during this series. But I want to move forward, and I want to talk about tonight's featured book. Tonight's featured book is called The Technological Republic: Hard Power, Soft Belief, and the Future of the West by Alexander Karp. Okay? And so let's talk about Alex Karp, the author of tonight's featured book. All right? And he actually co-wrote this book with Nicholas W. Zamiska. So Alex Karp is the co-founder and CEO of Palantir Technologies. And I don't know if you guys remember, but we had talked about the person he co-founded the company with, Peter Thiel, who we talked about last week, known for PayPal, early backing of Facebook, and his role as one of Silicon Valley's most influential venture capitalists. Together, they envisioned Palantir as a tool that could merge innovation with national security needs. Karp has a background in philosophy and law, okay, earning his PhD from Goethe University in Frankfurt and his JD from Stanford. Before leading Palantir, he wasn't a typical Silicon Valley technologist. He was a thinker, deeply interested in how societies balance democracy, ethics, and security. Now, The Technological Republic is a book about the intersection of Silicon Valley, national security, and democracy. It's Karp's warning and vision for what happens when the most powerful technologies of our time are concentrated in a few hands. Here's what he argues. Number one, Silicon Valley is no longer just about startups and apps, it represents state power. Silicon Valley isn't just about fun gadgets or clever social media anymore. It has become a pillar of state power. Startups once made lifestyle apps, now they build platforms. Governments depend on how to track terrorism, manage pandemics, and wage cyber defense. Democracies must grapple with the fact that private companies influence national policy as much as politicians do. Number two, technology equals power. Technology is not neutral. Whoever controls data, algorithms, and infrastructure holds power over societies. Silicon Valley companies are now gatekeepers of modern governance. The power can protect freedom or undermine it, depending on how it's wielded. Then number three, privacy and security are in tension. Governments want tools that protect against threats. Citizens want privacy and autonomy. Companies like Palantir sit right in the middle, mediating those competing demands. Number four, why democracies must engage. Democracies can't sit back while authoritarian powers adopt technology more aggressively. Free societies must embrace technology, but with guardrails. Now, otherwise, the very tools meant to strengthen democracy could very much weaken. So for Karp, this isn't just theory. His company, Palantir, provides advanced data analytic platforms for governments, militaries, and corporations worldwide. So, Palantir is a company that we talked about. I don't know if you guys remember, but I definitely had recommended that you consider watching the ticker, right? So I'm going to put it down again for you. PLTR for Palantir. Okay. And I'm going to share with you a little bit more about this. So as of today, the end of today, Palantir closed at $157.10. This reflects how central investors believe data and security will be in the decades ahead. The reason why I want to talk about this is because I want to go into the business corner now, building on Karp's arguments. Here's what it means for us as executives building our own private firms, corporations, or practice. Number one, think bigger than lifestyle tools. Just as Silicon Valley evolved from apps to state power, we must evolve from day-to-day operations to long-term influence and legacy. Number two, build data, digital leverage. Secure technology platforms aren't optional. Their leadership, AI, analytics, and automation aren't just conveniences, they're levers of influence. Number three, protect data like it's gold. Balance convenience with security. Invest in cybersecurity proto tools, encrypted communications, and staff training. Number four, engage and lead. We can't sit back. We must embrace innovation ethically, using technology to empower and not to exploit. Now, an example of this would be a boutique law firm could adopt AI-powered research tools, encrypted digital vaults, and client portals. That turns the firm from just a service provider into a guardian of client trust and legacy. Here's the tie-in with this. Watching Palantir is a signal for the future. When Palantir enters a sector, it's often a roadmap for where technology is heading. Okay, so that's something to think about, but more importantly, for us as corporate executives who have now gone into our own practices, our firms or corporations, is definitely a company that we want to consider investing in if we're building stock portfolios and offering these competitive packages to our new hires. Okay, but it's definitely something for legacy, something to pass on that's going to continue to grow, will pass our lifetimes. It's generational wealth to consider. Now, let's go on into the hot topic of the night. All of last month, we focused on cyberbullying, an issue on every college campus, including my own. And here's the reality: more than 60% of online content is, in fact, manipulated, filtered, or false. Now, I did a little bit of research, and according to Pew Research Center, 59% of U.S. teens say that they have, in fact, been cyberbullied. CDC, 1 in 6 high schoolers, which is 15.9%, as far as I'm concerned, that's 16%, were electronically bullied last year. College surveys say that nearly 1 in 4 students report online harassment, many saying it impacts their mental health and academics. This is why I did, in fact, write my book, Do Your Job, A Parent's Manifesto to Protection, Privacy, and Power, which you guys know you can get on Amazon, as well as my website, bewellnesscenter.shop. I have it in paperback and in hardcover. Okay. Now, these are workbooks that you do with your kids, but here's the point: the internet isn't regulated strongly enough. That's why bullying, exploitation, and misinformation do, in fact, thrive. Parents can act from contacting schools and legislators to training kids to fact check, and recognize manipulation. Do Your Job is a reminder that parents are not powerless, and we are the first line of defense. And let's remember, this was never the internet's original purpose at all. Microsoft's founders, people like Bill Gates and Paul Allen, when computers came out, the goal of these computers were to be on every desk, okay, to actually expand opportunity. Folks like the late Steve Jobs envisioned the iPhone and the iPad as creativity and communication tools. Mr. Tim Cook continued that vision with the Apple Watch and FaceTime, helping families stay connected instantly. The internet was designed for growth, prosperity, and connection, not cruelty. Cyberbullying is a distortion of that vision, and that's why I do stress in Do Your Job, parents must reclaim that narrative. Governments use Palantir to filter truth from noise. We must teach our kids to do the same exact thing, and that's what we've been talking about since this series started, is teaching our kids to look at online as a business, not something to look up to when we look at these influencers. Remind them that the internet was created to build, not to destroy, and to instill this truth. Values, not trends, are the compass of strong families. All right. Just as the pioneers of technology built tools meant to connect us, I've used those same tools responsibly with purpose to create books like Do Your Job. There's other books that I've written, but in Do Your Job, She Shines Anyway. And with She Shines Anyway, I did, in fact, use it to help me edit in less than an hour. Okay. I was able to edit 76 poems in under an hour, something that usually would have taken 4 to 6 weeks, proving that when we use intention, technology can accelerate creativity, not diminish it. All right. So finally, before I end this, I'm going to close out with our last poem of the night. And this poem is actually called, bear with me just a second. This poem is called My Standards Are Not Attitude. Okay? I'm not being difficult. I just know my worth, and I don't shrink it to soothe anyone's ego. They call it attitude when a woman speaks clearly. They call it too much when she won't settle for crumbs. But I've outgrown the performance of politeness of my own expense. I've seen what happens when I stay silent just to keep the peace. I lose myself in the process. So if my standards feel like a wall, that's because they are a wall between me and what I no longer entertain. I'm not angry, I'm aligned, and I won't apologize for choosing what honors me. All right, now you guys can find this poem on Amazon.com, and you can also find it at bewellnesscenter.shop. Okay, now, yeah, you can find that, like I said, on BeWellnessCenter.shop. And don't forget, my podcast has been rebranded. What we've been waiting for, unedited, is now called The Second Act Executive. So it's available on iHeart, Spotify, and Apple every week at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I talk about business thoughts and strategies for executives transitioning into private firms, practices, or corporations. And now it's also paired with the Second Act Executive newsletter, which launched yesterday. And you can subscribe to that at BeWellnessCenter.shop. Tomorrow is our final night together in this series. Don't miss it. And we're going to close with our last featured book and powerful discussion. Until then, stay grounded, stay powerful, and remember, values, not trends, are what guide families. I'll see you guys then. Bye.